Hi, I'm Movie Cat, and you are watching Fantastic Crap. Well, my fellow B-movie lovers, this episode is the 20th episode of Fantastic Crap, and you know what that means. It's time for our second top 10 list. Yes, we are still sticking to the top 10 list every 10 episodes gimmick, and this time, I'm going to be given my personal list of favorite airy slasher killer masks. Now, before we get started, I do have to make something very clear and give a short shout out. I've decided to leave these three handsome devils out of the list. Why, you ask? Well, because they are on everybody's list, and I wanted this one to feature more of the lesser mainstream baddies out there. If this was the most iconic horror mask list, these guys would be the top 3. So don't get me wrong, I love all 3 of these scoundrels and have very high opinions on their killer spree faces. I just wanted to dig a little deeper under the big 3 and look at all the other very well-deserving scary masks out there. Now that we have that explained and out of the way, let's start our second top 10 movie list. Number 10, Tourist Trap. That's right, our old friend Plasterface helps kick off our list at number 10. Plasterface's masks are assembled from his mannequins, and some he probably made himself due to being highly skilled at creating mannequins. They are usually featureless and shiny, and his eye sockets are always dark and empty. He also wears a wig with them and keeps things fresh, using several different types of wigs with his mask, which gives him several different unique looks, depending on his mood and what he is doing. So basically, everyone with the fear of mannequins and lifelike replicas are going to love to hate Plasterface's fashion choices. Now, number 9, Stage Fright. The 1987 Stage Fright features a bunch of struggling stage actors rehearsing for a small production play who find themselves trapped and locked in the theater with a killer wearing an owl mask cutting them up one by one. That's right, I said an owl mask. You gotta love a good bird of prey. Normally, I just find them delicious, but even I would think twice before trying to eat this guy. Yes, the mask is a tiny bit comical, but at the same time, having a big stuffed owl face coming at you wielding an axe could be a bit unnerving, and the whole bird thing just makes it feel even more like this guy is indeed the hunter, and the poor actors are his prey. I just wonder who this guy could be. See what I did there? Okay, moving on. Number 8, Motel Hell. It takes all kinds of critters to make former Vincent's fritters, including all of the unexpected travelers that they abduct at their motel. Vincent loves to wear the head of a bloody, freshly killed pig on his head, and the fact that it looks like he just cut it off, gutted it, and slammed it on his head makes it even more disturbing. Of course, it doesn't help when said bloody pig farmer is chasing you with a chainsaw, but if anything is going to help you swear off pork, that would be it. Number 7, Friday the 13th, Part 2. Okay. After you stop screaming at your mother, calm down and let me explain. Yes, I know I said no Friday the 13th, but what I was talking about was the fantastic and epic hockey mask. Not the movies themselves, Actually, in part 2, Jason dons another headpiece, which I have always thought was also pretty creepy. An old sack tied around his head with some old rope. Yes, it's simple yet effective. And another movie like that, called The Town That Dreaded Sundown, featured a similar mask. But with this one, I think the creepiest part about this is that it only has one eye hole, which makes it even more bizarre and unsettling, and it really shows how much of an awesome pro Jason really is. I mean, he honed his stalking skills in his early days by chasing down teens in a pitch-black forest, wearing a bag with only one eye hole poked into it over his head. Jason is a true boss at what he does. Number 6. My Bloody Valentine. The original My Bloody Valentine caused me to be very suspicious of minors. It's also caused me to develop a fear of the old minor gear and mask. It looks like some crazy plague doctor has come to pay you one final visit. Also, the film showed me that pickaxes are also very deadly weapons, and generally just run if you see a guy wearing a minor mask while holding one, especially if it's Valentine's Day. Number 5. Laid to Rest. Okay, I am not a fan of the first Laid to Rest movie. Yes, there was a sequel, but I don't consider any one of them to be good movies. But the look of the killer is outstanding. Now this is one styling psycho. His pale bald head just blends in with a shiny silver skull mask so perfectly. And this guy even has his own customized tools and weapons. Those blades are pretty sweet, and he even has a camera so he can record himself slaughtering his playmates, so that he can keep the footage to remember the good times. This guy just has an overall great look to him, and is definitely the most stylish and snazziest dresser on the list. It's just too bad his movies are pretty unfantastic crap. Wow. Number 4. Curtains. Curtains is yet another film that has a bunch of actors and actresses being offed one by a diabolical maniac. This time, the crazy nutbar is wearing a very stretched and realistic looking old age mask, which just furthers people's natural distrust of old people. This killer is also a very skilled ice skater and is very good at slicing and dicing while speeding across the ice. I love a killer who knows how to multitask their skills. Wow. Number 3. In the Dark. In the Dark is a 2015 horror anthology film, and its second story features a killer wearing a mask, which shows you just how scary the old vaudeville days can be. Ventriloquist dummies are always terrifying. Period. The expressions on the mask is of pure psychotic glee and joy, which is obviously enjoying a sprint into madness. This guy may just be part of one story featured in the movie, but it definitely deserves a spotlight on this list. Number 2. The Hills Run Red. The 2009 Hills Run Red is another movie that is not very good, but it does feature a great-looking villain who is very effective of scarring viewers for life. Babyface, as he is called, wears a very old and beat-up two-piece baby mask. To me, the most effective part of this is the tied-on-bottom jaw that just reveals a bit of the killer's very deformed and grotesque lower jaw. But the crowning achievement of Babyface's wardrobe, which just caps it off so perfectly, is that he sometimes keeps the mask on his face by wearing barbed wire around his head, which gives him a look that instantly makes you think, "Oh God, my deepest innermost fears have clawed their way out of my nightmares, are now gonna bash my head in like a ripe watermelon." Number 1. Nightbreed. Yeah, the number one movie on this list is not exactly a slasher film, but Dr. Philip K. Decker is most definitely a slasher villain. He is a psychotherapist who also doubles as a crazed serial killer in his off time. The film is directed by Clive Barker, but the killer himself was played by another well-known director, David Cronenberg. The mask is like a pearl-like sap with a crooked zipper mouth and button eyes. If they ever took Batman's Scarecrow and made him the villain of a standalone horror film, this is what I imagine he would look like. This thing is so creepy, it almost makes you forget to question how he can see wearing this thing. But never mind its effectiveness, it's still pretty dang scary, and that's exactly what this movie needed it to be. And that pretty much wraps up our second top 10 list. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and please don't be afraid to leave comments letting me know if you agree or disagree with my list. And be sure to give me your choices for favorite scary killer masks. If you enjoyed this, don't fret, there'll still be another top 10 list on the 30th episode, and in between then, I will continue to present even more fantastic B-movie gems to you. So until then, I'll be seeing you, and always watch your back. You never know when a crazed masked killer is stalking you. I'm surprised no masked killer has jumped out at me or anything yet. We must have run out of budget again. Oh no, I'm in at 6, my bloody, I gotta do this right. This guy just has an he has overalls. There's actually some killers out there in movies that had overalls. I think one of the Jasons donned one. Yeah. Curtains is yet another film that has a bunch of actors and actresses being offed one by a diabolical maniac. This time the grazed. It's what? Does it grazing? Is it wearing a cow mask? Curtains is yet another film that has a bunch of actors and actresses being offed one by a diabolical maniac. This time the crazed nutbar is wearing a very stretched and realistic looking old age mask, which just furthers people's natural distrust of an old people. Of an old people. What? Curtains and Zuzuzuzu. Curtains is yet another film that has a bunch of actors and actresses being offed one by a doll. No, I've already reviewed the doll movie. I love a good killer who knows how to multitask. Multipass. Oh, I love Fifth Element. This killer is a very skilled ace. I'm getting very tired of reading the same Curtains description over and over. Which is obviously enjoying its sprint into madness. This gay? What? Why am I being mean to this? What? I didn't hate the movie that much. This guy may just be part of one story featured in the movie, but it definitely deserves a spotlight on. But Dr. Philip K. Decker is most definitely a slasher villain. He's a He's a word I'm going to have very much trouble trying to say. I hate being a cat sometimes. He is a psychotherapist who also doubles as a crazed Why would he want to kill cereals or celery? I like celery. Don't kill celery. But Dr. Kate Decker is most definitely a slasher villain. Slasher. Oh boy.